We are going to sort of be talking about the Rice County Fair again today, a special program at the Rice County Fair called the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame, the best of the best. Art Madsen is in studio. Art's kind of the head of that subcommittee of the chamber, right, Art?
That is correct, Jerry. Hey, it's great to be with you again here today on the Mighty 920 KDHL.
This is such a great program. Why don't you give a brief history of it, Art? 5-6 years it's been going now?
Oh, Jerry, time flies when we're having fun. We actually started in 2008.
Oh, wow.
2008. And a little bit on the history of it. The chamber was thinking of ways that we might be able to recognize some of the great agricultural people that we have here in Rice County. And Mr. Jim Hermel, who at that time was the executive secretary, I think the title of general manager of the Rice County Fair, and did some brainstorming and decided to come up with a best of the best program at the Rice County Fair. And one of the things we wanted to do was recognize some of these great agricultural leaders. The state of Minnesota has what they call a Minnesota Livestock Breeders Hall of Fame that recognizes some of the outstanding livestock breeders throughout the state. Our friends down in Steele County have the same thing, a Steele County Livestock Breeders Hall of Fame. But we wanted something a little more inclusive that covered the whole gamut of agriculture, production agriculture, and all of the support industries that go into it. So we took a little bit broader approach and just called it the Rice County Agricultural Hall of Fame.
And I like that idea because our field of agriculture is so large when you think about that service sector that you mentioned. So I like the idea of a broader encompassing, although that's not to say we're right and like Steele County is wrong. Each county can do what they want.
Absolutely, positively. And it's amazing as I travel around how many county fairs come up and say, hey, tell me about that Ag Hall of Fame program, that best of the best awards program you've got. We've got great people in our county, and we're thinking maybe we should do something like that too.
That's why I always jump at the chance to have you on to talk about it, because maybe some people in other counties are listening saying, hey, we've got some very deserving people involved in agriculture or have been. We should get a program like that going, too, to recognize them.
You're absolutely correct, Jerry.
We should mention, too, we have a market break here in about a minute, a little over, but special thanks to the Rice County Fair, the Faribault Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee, and also our good friend Doug over at the Nearstrand Agri Center, Doug Gilbertson. He jumped up right away when he found out about it and said, we'd like to sponsor that.
Big thanks to Doug Gilbertson and the entire crew over at Nearstrand Agri Center. Yes, Doug is our perpetual sponsor here for the Rice County Agricultural Hall of Fame Award, and we're just extremely, extremely happy to have him on board with that sponsorship.
And, of course, after the market break, Doug is going to jump on the phone with us. And if we do everything right, John Dvorak, the current secretary of the Rice County Fair, is going to join us, too. This is what a county fair is supposed to be all about, isn't it?
A lot of good people working together to put on an outstanding fair.
And we should also say thanks, too, to make it such a special morning. Everybody comes in for the program, the free breakfast before. Thanks to the Rice County Farm Bureau, corn and soybean growers, the pork producers, the ADA. What a great morning on the Wednesday of the Rice County Fair. But anyway, Art, stand by. We have to check out the markets from Brownfield.
Serving the farming community for over 30 years.
The market report on KDHL was sponsored by Metal Services in Blooming Prairie. We are talking about the Rice County Fair's Agriculture Hall of Fame program, the best of the best, sponsored by the Faribault Chamber of Commerce Agribusiness Committee. And also the Nearstrand Agri Center. In studio was Art Madsen. And Art looks like a real radio guy with a headset on and everything.
And a face fit for radio.
Yeah, we hear that a lot around here. On the line is John Dvorak, the secretary of the Rice County Fair. John, you're there?
Good morning.
And also our special sponsor of the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame program, heavy emphasis on Mr. Doug Gilbertson from the Nearstrand Agri Center. And Doug, you're there.
Yes, I'm on.
How about that, Art?
Hey, Doug, great to have you as our sponsor here for the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame Award. Once again, on behalf of the committee and everyone involved with the fair and all of our agriculture community, thanks for sponsoring this award. We sincerely appreciate it.
Yes, I am honored to be the lifetime sponsor of that award. How many years has this been going on now?
See, I'm not the only one that couldn't remember for sure.
I was going to say 10, but I don't know. Time flies.
Time flies. We started in 2008, so we're zipping right along here.
All right. Be coming up a couple of years, then. That's good. It's been a great program, and it's great to see all the people come at the fair to congratulate the recipients every year, so I'm proud to be a sponsor.
And, John, that's kind of what a county fair is all about, isn't it? I know some county fairs maybe have lost their emphasis on how they all got started, agriculture, but nobody's going to forget agriculture is a big part of the Rice County Fair.
That's exactly right, Jerry, and agriculture is a big part of the Rice County Fair, and we just want to showcase it, and these farmers need to be showcased, and I'm just glad that Art took it upon himself to get this going because he was the mastermind behind all of this. And, we're just so grateful that we have this opportunity to showcase everybody.
But, John, to make a county fair what it is, it's all about sponsorships and individuals and businesses in the community supporting things at the fair. And, boy, look at what Doug's doing for us.
Oh, and we're so thankful for Doug that he does go ahead and do this for us because you're right. It takes money, and without these sponsorships from the different institutions such as Doug's, this wouldn't be possible.
I think we should maybe run through quickly the list of the inductees into the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame. And while Art is reading that list, the challenge to listeners is if someone pops in your mind, write it down, jot it down, and get them nominated. Right? Some of the distinguished individuals that are in the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame.
You bet, Jerry. We started out in 2008 with our inaugural class. In 2008, we had Lincoln Paulson, who was a great farmer and soil conservation leader, not only in the state of Minnesota, but throughout the upper Midwest. Warren Liebenstein, longtime extension educator. KDHL's own Dean Curtis, longtime farm broadcaster here at KDHL, and Daryl Haig, who was a cooperative leader, very involved in four-county agricultural services, Faribault, Morristown, and other areas. Then in 2009, we were very excited to induct into the Hall of Fame Mr. Paul Day, who was a Northfield native, was in charge of the FFA program in Northfield for quite a number of years, and then went on to provide leadership for the state FFA program. In 2010, we had Burton Peterson, a dairy farmer, cash crop farmer in the Northfield area. Ben Bartusik, one of the outstanding livestock producers here in the state of Minnesota and upper Midwest. Ben was a purebred swine producer, produced an awful lot of breeding stock that went into programs to make them profitable. And also in 2010, we inducted our First Lady, Mary Donkers, certainly a wonderful lady, big supporter of agriculture, involved in the Chamber of Commerce, commodity organizations, a great contributor to agriculture. In 2011, Don Morgan from Morgan Farm Services over there in the Morristown area. Wally Hildebrandt, who worked diligently on soil conservation issues, and our good friend Clarence Perfrest. In 2012, some names that are certainly very, very familiar to all of us here in Rice County. Dick Langsley, an area pork producer. Ed Drewitz, again from that Morristown area. Ed Drewitz bred Brown Swiss cattle, was very involved in the Brown Swiss Association, was a national field man, and judged Brown Swiss cattle throughout the United States and several foreign countries.
Wow.
Also, Eugene Schroeder. Gene's from the Northfield area and was known for his draft horse program and the big draft horse show that he used to have on his farm. They called it the Schroeder Arena. It had kind of a natural occurring land feature that lent itself very well to that. Then in 2013, a name very familiar to Holstein breeders, Mr. A.J. Lashbrook. Mr. Lashbrook is responsible for Holstein genetics that we were told by Larry Tandy down there in Steele County that, and Larry was president of the National Association, that today over 60% of all the Holstein cattle in America trace to genetics produced on A.J. Lashbrook's farm.
60% of the Holsteins in the United States alive today have genetics tracing back to Northfield, Minnesota.
Incredible, isn't it, Jerry?
Yeah.
In 2014, we had Gary Hansen, one of the great farmers over there in the Nerstrand area, next door neighbor to the Nerstrand Agri Center, just south of town there. And in 2015, one of our really, really great ag educators that we've been blessed with here in our farm business management program, Mr. Doug Wordish.
Well, isn't it something, Doug, when you hear about some of the history? You've been here for a while. You probably recognize a lot of those names, but some of them I didn't. But it's just incredible, the deep agricultural history that we have in Rice County. And I guess you knew that. That's why you jumped on and said, I want to take ownership of this program.
Yeah, when you go to the fair and see the century farmers, and sometimes there's 150-year-old, well, they're not, people at the fair aren't that old, but their family farms are still there. It's just amazing the history and the tradition that this area brings.
And it's nice, too, isn't it, John, that because of Doug's sponsorship, we can get nice plaques, so the family gets one, and then we can keep another one on display there at the Rice County Fair?
Exactly so, and, we redid that last year, and we moved it into our new Gillen building. We dedicated a wall just for that purpose, and it's very fitting, and now the fair goers can enjoy it. They can come by and stop and read all the names on the plaque, and it's just a great way to showcase everything that we have. These people, actually the pioneers of Rice County.
And we currently have pioneers in Rice County in the current generation, and that's part of the reason, Art, you're on the program today, because we need some nominations for the inductee class of 2016.
That's right, Jerry. We're looking for individuals that are out there in our listening audience that know of someone that is deserving of being nominated for this Rice County Agricultural Hall of Fame. The nomination form is relatively simple, and it's basically a one-page application. You can attach some additional pages if necessary. This application form, nomination form, is available on the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce website. They've also got them at the Farm Business Management Program at South Central. We've got them at Reliance Bank. The Chamber has them, and our good friends at the Rice County Fair are posting it on their website, so you can find it there also.
And I think we should also maybe get a few copies to our gracious sponsor. You think you could handle that, Doug, of have some there if somebody wanted to stop?
We have a file with them also at the elevator.
So the key is, if you're thinking of someone, put their name in and start talking to people. I think that's the other key, isn't it, Ed? Maybe one individual or maybe even families don't know everything, but you just start talking to people.
And we'll certainly help you a little bit. We don't have the resources to do all the legwork, but if you come up with a name, I had an individual call me with a name and said, hey, now this person should be nominated, and I did a little bit of legwork, called some people like Mary Ann Langsley and Doris Moeller and people that have been around and know people, and we got that person lined up with the resources they needed to complete that nomination form.
Yeah. So we kind of help out, too, and it's amazing what you'll find out. You think someone should be in, and you start talking and checking, and you find out a whole lot of things that you didn't know that re-emphasizes that they should be in the Hall of Fame.
I was truly amazed at this individual. I did have the pleasure of knowing this individual for a number of years before he passed on, and he is truly deserving of being nominated for this award.
Well, Doug, I know you're a busy guy with all your locations and spring coming up. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we let you get back to your real job?
Well, spring is here. Believe it or not, I'm filling an anhydrous tank right now. Spring has sprung, and on Ag Day this morning, do you realize in approximately 25 years we need to double the amount of food we need to produce? So we need to do it. That's amazing, and we're living through low prices again now, but that population is continuing to grow, and we need all forms of seed, be it non-GMO, GMO, whatever, but we got to feed a population that's growing, and the fair helps tell that story.
I think that's important because sometimes, Doug, people don't know a lot about agriculture, and so they hear some marketing and maybe sometimes even some scare things in the news, and they think, well, we ought to be farming like we did back in the 50s. Well, you know what? We don't feed this country unless we use modern farming practices.
Yep, that's correct, and believe it or not, even carrots they eat are GMO, so I think just like the oil companies, they like to spin it and go against ethanol for a while and to line their own pockets, and that's kind of what happens with society here.
Well, thanks again, Doug. We'll look forward to seeing you soon, and certainly at the Rice County Fair, our induction for the 2016 class of the Rice County Agriculture Hall of Fame.
Yes, well, thank you. You're welcome.
And once again, John, we should also say, too, special thanks to Doug, and we need more people, whatever their interest is, to support the Rice County Fair and develop programs like this.
And what a great way to help out. And we're just so thankful that we have Art on board and Doug. They're great help. And another thing I wanted to point out is, we don't go out and handpick these individuals for these awards. These awards are given out. They're all nominated. And so if you need somebody to be nominated or you want somebody to get this award, fill out the application. I encourage you to do that because, we need you to nominate these people. And, if you nominate them one year and they don't get it that year, renominate them again because sooner or later, their name will come up and they'll win that award.
And that has happened, hasn't it, Art, where we had 2 or 3 very strong individuals?
Absolutely. What we do on these, Jerry, is if you nominate someone, they stay in that pool for 3 years. So if you nominate someone this year and for some reason they are not chosen, that nomination form will stay in for 2 more years. And if they still haven't received it, don't be bashful. Renominate them because we have some that have been in that pool for several years. We have so many great people, and our selection committee works so hard. We've got a dozen people that serve on our selection committee. They've got tough choices to make. One of the comments I get from a number of the people on our selection committee is, I'd like to see them all get it this year. Well, that's not quite the way the system works. We try to meter them into the system. Typically, we do 1 or 2. Occasionally, we've had more than that. But there's great people out there. Let's get those nomination forms in and have a nice pool to work with for our 2016 Rice County Agricultural Hall of Fame.
And then sometimes, too, someone's nominated a year or 2 down the line. Well, gee, this is in the back of your mind. It all is, I know they did this, and I know they did that. So you kind of enhance the application, so to speak, as you find out more things that they did.
That's absolutely correct. A couple of things we might want to also mention, Jerry. At that Best of the Best program at the Rice County Fair, and again, thank you, John Dvorak, for working hard to facilitate us there at the fair for the programming, and thanks again to our good friends at Rice County Farm Bureau for serving that breakfast that is sponsored by our commodity organizations. But we also want to mention that we do recognize the Farm Family of the Year that day. And last year, that was Randy and Brian Hansen from Nerstrand. We also recognized the Rice County Outstanding Conservationists of the Year, which was Robert and Richard Summers. the 2015 Wildlife Enhancement Award that went to St. Olaf College, the 2015 Forest Stewardship Award that went to Carleton College. We had 3 Century Farms, the Turek Farm at Montgomery, the Mon Farm at Northfield, and the Kopet-Shetka Farm at Webster. So a lot of great family farms and individuals and groups get recognized at that Best of the Best Award program.
And we kind of keep track of it, too. Like I remember one year Brad Carlson got some Extension University of Minnesota award. So if there's something going on in agriculture, someone in our county gets an award, we want to know about it so that we can give them some recognition at the Rice County Fair. That's what the fair is all about, right, John?
That's exactly right. And what a good time to showcase it, right at a county fair. And, that's what the fairs are all about, is, we honor people in agriculture.
One of the ones, Jerry, in the category you just mentioned, last year we had a FFA achievement recognition for the state champion FFA General Livestock Judging Team. 4 great young people from Rice County, Hank and Carl Scholz, and Lexi and Michaela Wetzel.
The brothers and sisters.
Exactly. And they do a fantastic job. And although they can no longer compete at the FFA convention due to the fact that they were the winners, they can compete on the Rice County 4-H General Livestock Judging Team.
And I was just talking to Jeff Scholz, and of course, the way it goes is if you win the state FFA judging contest and go on to national, you can't compete. They qualified in another contest.
Yes, they did.
But, so if you know something else that's going on that someone should be recognized, we love to put them on the program. And it's just such a neat program where we come in, and thanks to the Rice County Farm Bureau, Dakota Rice Corn and Soybean Growers, Rice County Pork Producers, Rice County ADA, everyone, the recipients, their families, and guests enjoy a great breakfast. And, John, I've always thought that morning special thanks to the Rice County Fair and the vendors, because some county fairs, maybe you wouldn't get away with this. They want to sell people breakfast. They don't like the idea of a special program, serving a free breakfast. But we've always had good support from the fair and the vendors, too.
Yeah, we have. And, we're, for them to allow us to do this and they don't say anything, that just goes to show you, that they're not only there to support themselves, but they're there to support Rice County. And what a great thing and a great way to show it.
It is tough for me on that morning because, of course, it's my official responsibility to eat breakfast at the Cardinal Cafe, and then I have to go over to the Hall of Fame program, and then I have to eat another breakfast.
We are just lucky you work so hard, Jerry. That way you maintain your athletic physique.
I heard you laughing back there, John. I can't hang up on you,
That's right. You could hang up, but I know you won't, and so that's why, that's what the Rice County Fair is all about, having a good time and a great time, and we have a good time talking about it, and, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Speaking of the Rice County Fair, another group of people that we really need to recognize that are really unsung heroes are our Rice County Fair Board members. Oh. Those people work hard, and it's not just during the Rice County Fair. It's throughout the year, maintaining relationships with sponsors and working hard to get all the programming put together. Our friends at the Extension Service, all the great work they do with the 4-H program, our FFA people. It takes a whole county to make a county fair work.
That's exactly right, Art, and thank you for that compliment. And, I do have a good group of people here, and we do work hard, and they work hard. And, at the end of the fair, it's kind of nice to look back and see everything you've accomplished that year.
Now, just think of what it takes to maintain all those buildings.
Yeah. Exactly so. Exactly so.
A lot of buildings and a lot of paint, and if a roof is leaking, it's got to be fixed. And we should also mention, too, that nice addition. The 20 years that I've been coming to the Rice County Fair, we've seen a continual improvement in buildings and the grounds. And there again, it's individuals and volunteers stepping up.
What a great job the Gillen family did stepping up and sponsoring that beautiful new facility that what was definitely needed to replace the old, I call it open class general exhibit building there at the fairgrounds. So thank you, Jake and family.
Yeah, we were very grateful for that, and you're right, Jerry. It does take some time and effort, to keep the buildings up, and you have to keep them up because sooner or later, the small things lead into bigger things, and so I have a great maintenance crew, and they try to stay on top of things and tackle the small problems before they get big, and with today's economy, you just can't neglect the building and expect to build a new one. We maintain what we have, and I think we do a real good job keeping the buildings up and the grounds. And, I think that's important to showcase this county fair.
We're fortunate also to have a county board that recognizes the importance of agricultural education and the fact that the county fair is a big contributor to educating the public on the importance of agriculture here in Rice County. They do make some financial contributions to our fair. It isn't a big contribution, but every little bit helps, and we certainly thank our county board members for providing us with that support.
John, we've got the news coming up. We'll look forward to talking to you soon on another AM Minnesota program with our Fair Talk.
And I look forward to being there.
John Dvorak, the manager of the Rice County Fair. The nomination forms, I wanted to mention too, Art, I'll be putting a post on our website later on today and have a link where you can go to kdhlradio.com and get the forms. You've got some at Reliance Bank. I've got some here at the studio. Doug's going to have some at the Nearstrand Agri Center on the Rice County Fair website. Have I missed a spot?
I think that pretty well does it, but if in doubt, give Jerry or myself a call. We'll get one in your hand. We would like to have those in by May 2nd, so we got a couple weeks yet to get those in the mail.
Thanks for stopping by, Art.
Thanks, Jerry.
Art Madsen, real job, ag loan officer at Reliance Bank, unpaid job, the chairman of the Agriculture Hall of Fame program. Here's news from ABC.